Hello, and welcome to the Commons for Justice podcast. I'm your host, Genai Witter, a recent FIU political science graduate, a human rights activist, and a research assistant on the Commons for Justice project. And I'm beyond excited to kick off this journey with you. But before I go any further, I want to give a massive shout out to the Mellon-funded for funding Florida International University's Race, Risk, and Resilience Local to Global Commons for Justice project. That's a mouthful. Now, you might be wondering what this project and podcast is all about, but I couldn't even begin to answer such a monumentous question without the help of my right-hand woman and the podcast associate producer, Miss Andrea Fonseca.
Hi, everyone, and for just a little bit of background on me, I'm a sophomore digital communications student, a student research fellow for the grant, and to get us started, the Commons for Justice grant adopts a collaboratory approach of co-identifying, co-designing, and co-producing.
This project consists of 11 different components that strive to identify, illustrate, and address the deep racial and ethnic inequalities present in disaster risk and exposures, as well as post-event resilience resources and capabilities. The grant centers its efforts around addressing issues in specific neighborhoods and communities of color in South Florida, which are collectively referred to as the Spine of Distress. It also collaborates with Caribbean Basin communities and the Global Indigenous Forum.
The Commons for Justice project is like a symphony of collaboration, bringing together local stakeholders, community leaders, and us, the students, to co-create solutions for racial and ethnic inequalities in disaster exposure and resilience.
And hey, that's where this podcast comes in. I created this podcast because academic jargon can be a maze. I wanted to break it down and make all of this important information a little bit more accessible. Additionally, I wanted to create a space where student perspectives could shine because let's face it, student voices are often diminished, undervalued, and frankly denied a seat at the table in these critical climate conversations, even though we're the ones that will one day inherit this land.
And face all the consequences, good or bad. So as a means to bring young minds into conversation, our podcast is produced by a diverse team of interdisciplinary undergraduate students who serve as a vessel for student perspectives, aiming to forge a future where equity, community capacity, and empathy are not just concepts, but lived realities.
Throughout the season, we'll be hearing from faculty members on the Commons for Justice grant, community leaders, activists, artists, and more as they guide us through their experiences, multidisciplinary expertise, and their perspective on all things race, risk, and resilience.
So whether you find yourself in academia, the community, or anywhere in between, we hope this show can serve as a source of enlightenment, encouragement, and exploration for you.
So grab your headphones, settle in, and let's dive into the past, present, and future of race, risk, and resilience together.